Now, we're going to talk about how to set up a file share and the print services within the Server 2012 Arrow 2. So the objectives we're going to derive from this lab, we're going to learn how to create and configure a file share, which I believe some of you already know. We're going to configure shadow copy, or rather copies, and we're going to enable and configure work folder. I think for work folder we'll need the RS services to be running. Then we're going to create and configure a printer pool. Are we together? Okay, let's start with the first task. We're going to be creating and configuring a file share. Now, have we created a partition? So the first step is to create a partition drive E, but let me just confirm if I have a drive E. I don't have a drive E here. Yeah, okay. So what I can do, I can actually use this because this is just a partition on my computer system. So what I can simply do, I can just right click, I go to disk management. So where I have G, all I need to do is just to change the letter, right? But before I do that, I will change the letter of the E drive. So I'll scroll down. I don't need to shrink any volume. I'll change the letter. I'll change it to something like I. And yeah, that's it. It's I now, so I can go back to my G drive. Change the letter to E. E is now available. So these are things you should know, okay? How to change letters. There's no harm. Just changing the letters representation. Okay. Can I have one class? Now, we're on the E drive. Now, this is what we're going to do. Based on the lab practicals, we're asked to create 3 folders. A folder and 2 other child folders. So the first folder we're going to create, it's data. So I'm going to open the E drive. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to right click. I'm going to create a new folder called data. D-A-T-A. Have we done that? On that data, I'm going to open it. I'm going to create another folder called development. Development and marketing. Okay. I'm going to create development and marketing. Okay, that's for task 1. Now, task 2, we need to configure file permission on the folder structure. A file permission. Are we together? So we're asked to block the inheritance file permissions on E-data development and E-data marketing. And when prompted, we should convert the inheritance into explicit permission. We are not asked to block the inheritance from data. We are asked to block the inheritance from this. E-data development and E-data what? Marketing. Yes. Are we together? Now to do that is simple. We go to data, we right click on development property. We go to security. Then we click on what? Advanced. Are we together? We click on advanced. Now, did you see where it says disable inheritance? Can you click on that? Then we're asked to convert it into explicit. Is that not correct? On all the objects, right? So we say convert to explicit permission. Everything changes to none, right? And we click on apply and we click on OK. We click OK again. We go to marketing. We do the same thing. Property, security, advanced. We disable inheritance. And we convert permissions into explicit permissions on this object. So we'll click on that. Apply and OK and OK. Now that is a step we've done already. Now in the next step, we have to remove permissions for users. So we need to remove the permissions for users on both folders. Are we together? So we'll come to development. We're going to right click, property. We'll go to security. We'll click edit. Do we see users there? So can you click on users? Then click remove. Apply. Okay. Okay, again, we go to marketing. We do exactly the same thing. We go to security tab. We'll click edit. We'll click on users and remove. We apply. Okay, and okay. Now that task has been done. The next step is to add a file permission for the folder. Okay, on the file permission, we are asked to on eData, the permission note, we should not change that permission, it's fine. On development, we're to give the domain name, the user at the group users, development, modified permission, and marketing, modified permission. Are we together? Are we together, guys? So what we're going to do, we're going to create two users, and we're going to put these two users in two groups, marketing and what? And development. Are we together? We're going to create marketing and development. We're going to create two groups, and in these two groups, we're going to create marketing and development. Are we together? Then I'm going to try to see if I can include the OU. So we're going to go to Active Directory. We're going to create an OU. From that OU, we're going to create two users. From those two users, we're going to add them to two different groups. Are we together? Are we together? So how do we go about that? To make it much easier and more simpler, going to Active Directory Administrative Center, it's more detailed, so I can go to Active Directory users and what? Computers. Are we together? Now I'll expand my domain, and that is my beauty folders, right? And of course, this is a sign that there's a content inside. Is that not correct? These are my users. Is that not correct? Now I could easily use my user container. Of course, whatever permission that is affected on the domain also affects the rest of the users. But I want to do something. I want to create an OU. Now from that OU, I'm going to add the users, and I'm going to add them to those groups. Are we together? Are we together, guys? Okay. So the first thing to create an OU is to right-click, New, Organizational Units. Now take note. Look at where I'm clicking from. I'm clicking from the root. You know, if I close this closes all the folders, right? Now if I expand this, it expands the rest of the OUs, the containers. Now, clicking on pce.local allows me to create a parent. Now, if I wanted to create a child, all I need to do is to come and click on users, right-click, new, and I'll click on OU. Are we together? Oh, sorry, that's a built-in container. Let me see if that's... Yeah, I'll be able to create it on here because that's a built-in, huh? So I'll need to create a parent for that. Now, I'll be able to create an OU under domain controllers. Are we together? But so what we're going to do, we're going to create a parent. So we're going to right-click. We're going to click on OUs, new, and we're going to click on OU. Now, we have development and marketing. What type of companies would that be? What department would that be? Development, marketing. So let's say web design. Web design. Protects content from accidental deletion. We can uncheck that so that in case we want to take everything out again. So that's web design, right? Now we have two departments under web design. Is that not correct? Development and what? Marketing. So I'm going to right click, new. I'm going to click on OU. I'm going to type development. Uncheck accidental deletion. I'm going to click on web design, new, OU. I'm going to type marketing. Is that not correct? Marketing. Uncheck that as well. Okay, now in these two OUs, we have two users there. The first username, it's, let me just give you a name, just a minute. Okay, we have Bernard Johnson on development. Can you click on development? Right click, go to new. You'll see users there, right? So we'll type Bernard, B-E-R-N-A-R-D, Bernard, and his last name is Johnson. So on the user logon, we'll give him BJ. BJ, okay? What is the problem? BJ, okay? So next, the password remains the same as the way you log in. So it's capital letter P-A, $W0ROD. User must user cannot change password. Okay, so click next. I think that is complex enough, and that's the username for the user. So we're going to click finish. That is nice. So I'm going to do that for marketing as well. For marketing, I'm creating John James. So it's John James, and it's JJ at pce.local. So we'll click next. Password will be P, capital letter P A $W0ROD. Next, and we'll click on finish. Okay, now if we notice, we have two users in both departments. Is that not correct? The next thing is that we need to create two groups, which is development and what? Marketing. Are we together? So I'm going to right click here as well. I'm going to create a new, and I'm going to say group. Now you guys remember we have two types of group. We have distributed group and what? Security group. Is that not correct? And remember our scope. We have domain local, we have global, and we have what? Universal. So we're going to call this one global what? Group. Are we together? Not domain local group. So we're going to give it a name, development.
So we right click within development or web design?
Look at my URL. pce.local web design development. That's where I am. You see, the Active Directory is like the way you create a folder content. Are you getting me? So I'm going to select security, click OK. Now, what I would do is simple. I can actually drag this. Listen, I can drag and I can drop it here. Are you getting me? But you see, it's not moving, right? So what I can do, I can right click and I can say add to a what? A group. Are we together? Or I can come to development, right click, go to property, click on members. There is no members here, right? So all I need to do is to click add, and I'll type Johnson, or Bernard, sorry. Bernard. If I click check names, it will bring Bernard Johnson, because it's only Bernard there. If there are more Bernard, it will give you a pop-up, and you'll be able to select which of the Bernard you're looking for. Then I click OK, and that's Bernard there. I click apply. Now if I go to the properties of Bernard by double-clicking, and it says members of, I will see that Bernard is not just only a domain user, but it's now a member of what? Development. Are we together? So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do the same with marketing as well. So go to groups, marketing. Global group security, correct. Okay. Double click on it. Members, add John. I just click on check names and to bring out John James. I'll click OK. John James is there. Apply and OK. Guys, we've done the first hurdle. Now, this actually should have been done in the first place before we actually proceeded with creating the folders. But it's fine. Let's go back now to our folders. Now we are asked to create a permission. The permission table says on the e-data, there should be no change. It says, but for the e-data development, we should add the development group, but they should be able to modify. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come to development, right click, go to property, security, edit. I'm going to add development. I can just type DEV to bring up development automatically for me as well. I'll click OK. And we're asked that the development department should be able to modify, right? So I'll click modify. That's it. I'll click apply and I'll click OK. OK. The next is marketing, and the marketing group should be able to modify. So I'm going to come to security, edit, add, marketing, check names, click OK. Make sure marketing is selected. Some of you always make the mistake. You usually select another group and you change the permission. Make sure marketing is selected. Then you click on what? Modify. You click apply and what? OK and OK. Now, in task 3, we are asked to share the folder e-data. So I'll come to my e-drive, right click on, I'll come to share, specific people. I can just click on share, that's all. Are we together? Or you can go and right click, property, sharing, share, it will still bring up the same wizard, or you can go to advanced sharing. The reason why you go to advanced sharing is if you want to set custom permissions. Are you getting me? Or multiple share. You want to give it a shared name. So they only just ask us to share the folder. So I'm going to click share. I'm going to click share here, and you can see, do you want all these changes? You see, do you want to change the settings for these items? This is change settings. Of course, we don't want to change any settings, right? So we're going to click do not change settings and done. I'll click what? Close. Now we're asked to assign the following permission to the shared folder. Authenticated users can change. So based on data, I'm going to right click, property, edit, add, I'll type authenticated. When I check names, it's going to bring out authenticated users. I'll click OK. I'm to select them, and they said they can be able to change. Okay, I think I'm in the wrong part. Sorry, remove. Yeah, remove it, sorry. I'm supposed to go to the shared permission. Yeah, find authenticated, check names. Now, authenticated users can change, meaning they can be able to, just a minute. Let's go and put the authenticated users. Click on data, right click, go to properties, go to sharing, click on advanced sharing. Then you see permissions there. Then on add, you type authenticates. It will bring up authenticated users. Click OK. Then select authenticated users and select change. Okay. Click apply and OK. Yeah, apply, OK, and close. Okay, now we're going to test the access to the user. So I'm going to boot up my. Now let's say we're going to test the access to the users. Are we together? So I'm going to boot up my Windows 7. I told you guys to use Windows 7, right? But if you have Windows 8, it's fine. So we're going to test our access to the computer system. But make sure your computer is able to talk to the server. Are we together? Are we together? Make sure you're able to talk to the server. So your computer should be on internal network. Are we following? Okay. So let me start my computer. That I'll be able to test it. So I'm going to log in now. Oh, this computer is already joined to the domain. When did I add this computer to the domain? I'm booting up with Windows 8 because that was what we added to Server 2012, R2. So it was a mistake. I was trying to boot with Windows 7. Windows 7, we added it to let me log in as Peter. We added Windows 8 to Server 2012 R2. Are we together? Okay, so what I would do now, I'm gonna delete the rest. I think there are users in this computer system. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna delete all the users. I'm gonna delete the users on my computer here. Okay, guys, have you logged in? Logged in and test. So I'm going to take out these users. Alan, I'm going to take them out. James, John.
So just leave one user.
Yeah. No, this is my old Windows 8 computer, okay?
So you could just take the jingles, please. You just leave your main.
Yeah. I'm going to go to computer management. Can I have one class? I don't know why people are talking while we are having a class lab. I'm the only person that is allowed to talk. It's fine. Friday is your exam. So I'm just going to delete them out. Computer is a little bit draggy now because Windows 8 is kind of, it's about 4 gig I'm using right now in the entire system. So it's a little bit heavy on the host computer. Yeah, I would have preferred to use okay.
We just leave the administrative just.
This computer to the domain. I'm just going to go ahead and test the permission. Okay, so I'm going to click on folder because I think my computer is already connected to the server with the IP address. I'm going to type I'm going to type, I'm going to navigate to the file share, which is double, is that backward or forward slash? Okay, I'm going to type I think my server name, it's SVR1 data, and I'm going to press enter. Let's see if it comes up with my share. Normally it's supposed to give me the login name for the password and username. Okay, yeah, no, it's up now, it's up, it's connected now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type my name is Bernard, right? Is that not correct? Bernard is BJ. BJ, right? And it's BJ at pce.local. Password is password. Press enter. Okay. Now it's open. Is that not correct? Now, is Bernard a member of marketing? Okay, let's try to open it. Bernard is a member of development, right? So I'm going to open development. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say create a new document. And indeed, a new document was created, right? I type and I click on file, save, and it does save the content. Is that not correct? Now let's go back to data again. I'm going to click on marketing. I'm going to open marketing. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say new. I'm going to say text. Wow, something is wrong. It says you need permissions to perform what? This action. Simple. Vice versa with John James. If he logs in and he tries to change content in development, it's going to pop up with this action. Destination folder access is what? Denied. Finish and clap. I'll stop here for today. I want to try to join my computer to the domain so that we can test the access-based enumeration yesterday. Are we together? Yeah, because I was trying to test it with just the ordinary computer, but it was still appearing. So let us join the computer to the domain. Then let's see if that is going to solve the problem. Okay? Yeah, because I did test it with my Mac last year, and it actually worked perfectly. So let's test it with the computer being joined to the domain. Then we can be able to know if that is the solution. Okay? So I'm going to pause. In an environment where you have issues with the computer not really connected to the domain, you can actually rejoin the computer to the domain. Are we together? Now, normally how to do that? Normally your computer will be joined to pce.local at first. Is that not correct? So in some scenario when the computer has loose communication, probably to DNS errors or computer issues, probably there was a misconfiguration within the computer system. All you need to do is to come back instead of putting pce.local, because if you try to put pce.local, it will tell you that pce.local is already existing. So all you need to do is to put PCE or the domain name without the dots or anything that follows after the dots. Then click OK. It will authenticate based on the NetBIOS name. Are we together? I'm just telling you this just in case you faced any problems like that. So my computer will be joined to the domain. So I'll click OK. And the next thing that appears is you want to restart your computer. Welcome to pce.local domain. Of course, I want to restart the computer. So I'll go ahead and restart the computer. So the next time I log in, I'm going to confirm on my Active Directory the permissions. So I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to open Active Directory Users and Computers. I'll expand Planning. Okay. So what I did, because this was what I did with the afternoon student, but yours is web design, right? Now, what I did with the student, I actually came in here and put in the users here. Are we together? Then on development, I created a group in development. You know, just to make the Active Directory doesn't look so, so bulky. Are you getting me? Because what we are really concerned about these two departments is the groups, not really the users. But we're looking at the users are part of the planning department. Are we together? So if I double click on Bernard, member of, it's correct, domain users. Account, its account is john@pce.local, and Peterson, his account, it's peter@pce.local. So what I'm going to do now, I've shared the folder, I've done all the permissions like we did already, and we can confirm both of them are denied. So I'll go to File and Storage Services, and I'll go to Shares, and I'll go to eData, or I click on it, Properties. If I go to Settings, you'll see access-based enumeration is enabled. Is that not correct? If you notice on task 7, you were asked to disable offline file cache. But if you want to disable offline file cache, all you need to do, if you notice here on your computer, it says allow cache for share. Is that not correct? It's checked. Is that not correct? And you notice it says caching makes the content of the share available to users offline. Are we together? Remember I talked about branch cache? When I told you branch cache is a new feature Microsoft introduced in Windows Server 2008, whereby you can be able to distribute shared folders to local users in your branch offices, even without having a server. But this worked actually with Windows 7. Are you getting me? This worked actually with Windows 7. So these rules, of course, need to be installed as well if you want to use it for branch cache. Are you getting me? But if you're working with a local domain, it will still cache the folder. So that is checked. Now, this, of course, will make folders available offline for the users. So if the user had a laptop that is connected to the company's domain, when he's on the file share and he goes home, if he goes to this network, he will notice that data share will actually still be appearing on the system, and he'll be able to what? Access the content. Are we together? So you can disable that, cannot check that. So I'm going to click apply. That's moving on to task 7. I'm just a little bit faster. So I'll click OK. Now let me log into my Windows client computer. So you notice it says trainer.pc. That is my local PC, right? Now remember, I've joined this computer to the domain. But in some scenario, I may probably want to have access to my local computer system. Are you getting me? If I want to access my local computer system without going to the domain, this is what I would type. You remember your computer had a name before you joined it to the domain, right? So in scenarios where you have to log in to the local computer because there's an issue, what you need to do is to type in the name of the local computer, forward slash or backwards, is that forward slash or backward slash? Backward slash, then you type the name of the user you had locally. Now, one thing I discovered was that my username here was Peter on the local computer. My password was password. I also have the same username on my desktop. So when I was logged in on this computer system of the local user, even without joining into the domain, when I went to the file share, it also authenticated me. Why? It was using the credential of my local user, which was already Peter, and password was password. So they were identical. Are we following? So I'm going to click, because of course you notice that the only time you get Ctrl-Alt-Delete is when your computer is joined to a domain. Is that not correct? So I'm going to click other users, and if you notice it says PCA now. So I'm going to type John, because his name was Bernard Johnson, and password was password. So it's welcoming John. So I'm just going to wait. It's going to my desktop. If I go to the start menu, most of you will see this XXXX there, right? Of course, it's because your computer is not connected to the internet. Are we following? If it's connected to the internet, all these things will be off. Yeah, because you're not connected to the internet. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to check now, it's the permission we did now for access-based enumeration. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to type the URL of my server, which is /svr1/data, and I'll press enter, and I'm logged in as okay. If I try to create a content here, let's say bitmap image, the permissions does work. Okay, just because whenever I change this computer, we have to know students and still need to do the same thing. So most of the times, Authenticated user. We're supposed to remove users here, right? No, we're not supposed to make any changes here. Development, administrator, system. Did you remove everyone here? Let me check. Hmm? You said? On the file permission, on security on each folder.
Yeah. Let's look at everyone. It's only the development administrators, system to the info. Everyone is correct.
Just a minute. Remove users. You will need to share these folders, right? Okay, this is, I'm logged in as James Peterson. So let's check if this works. Okay, now it's working now. Guys, now it's working now. So let's switch users. Let's go to John. So put password. That's it. Are we together? So that solves the problem. Okay. The only difference in my permissions was, let me just show you what I did. The only difference was that on data, I just want to make that correction. On data, on the sharing, on the advanced sharing permission, I removed everyone. Are we together? Then I went to the security file permission on each of the folders and I removed everyone. Are we together? Yeah, normally if I've removed everyone from the beginning, remember before we created the XSplit permissions by disabling the inheritance, everyone should have been removed from data. Because if everyone was removed from data, automatically everyone will be removed from both of the both folders here. Are we following? Okay. So those were the changes I made in order for that to solve the issue on this. That's why you saw the moment I refreshed. So that's what I mean by access-based enumeration. You see that marketing is not showing here, right? Yeah. If we go and make, if for example, we go to marketing now, and we make, we go to marketing and we make developments. We add development group here now. DEVE, check names. If we come back here and we refresh, marketing will appear. If I go back again, if I take it out, development, excuse me. Yeah, but I'm on the permission of market, so I need to remove development. Yeah, so click OK. If I go back to Windows, if I refresh, marketing will disappear. Are we together? So just make sure, if I look for everyone is a problem. Is what is making us not the permission to work, okay? Yeah, it needs to be taken out. On data folder, right? So if we go to, take note, we're going to disable the offline cache. Are we together? Now, if you go to your drive E, which is this, you go to data, right click, property. Now, where do you disable caching for your folders? It's simple. You go to share, you see advanced sharing. You click on advanced sharing. Do you see the word caching? You click caching. Now, by default, it's actually here. It says only the files and programs that the user specify are available what? Offline. Is that not what is default? So all you need to do is to say no. Are we together? But if you wanted to optimize performance, if you click allow all file and program that the user opens, meaning any folder you open with is, and the files you access will be the only thing that will be cached. So this optimizes performance because it reduces your bandwidth. Are you getting me? So it makes your communication much faster. So your caching becomes more faster, meaning only the things you open and attend to will be the only thing that will be cached. There may be 200 folders there, but if you open only 2 folders out of the 200 folders, those are the only 2 folders that will be cached. It's very good for corporate organizations whereby they have they have so many tasks to do outside the office. So if somebody traveling to Cape Town, he doesn't really need to send emails or go to the FTP server of the company to always download file content. If that file is cached, the moment it's in Cape Town, it can actually open the file and use it. Are you getting me? Add content to it. The moment it connects to the network, either through VPN, are you getting me? Because it can mean in South Africa, connect to the network through VPN, the folder will synchronize and the update will be sent. The users who are locally in Windhoek, they log into the file share, they'll be able to see the updates of the files. So those are some of the things you need to know about the difference here. So we're going to take no, and we're going to click OK, and that is it. That solves the problem. Okay, that solves the problem. So that is how to update, disable caching, offline folder caching.